this vision really started when God decided to tell me back who I have always been. And it really came with the question when I was struggling and still struggling after so many milestones in my life. So I thought, okay, after I finish and get my degree, or after I get married, or after I have kids, or you know what I'm saying? All hitting these marks. And it was like, man, I still struggled. And for me, it was an addiction with food. And it really, the enemy used food in my life to basically shield my vision to see who I really was, because I was longing to be beautiful. I was longing to be confident. I was longing to not have fears of rejection and to feel loneliness and shame and all the insecurities and the doubts. And God, it was like this question that I asked myself that I knew was God's grace all over me. And I said, am I always going to be this way? Like, am I always going to struggle? And I was literally in my kitchen. We lived in a townhouse. I was in my kitchen. And what happened was, I was like, I'm not even hungry. Why am I obsessing about food and this whole cycle of it? And he said, basically, the Holy Spirit said, do you want to get well? And I was like, I didn't even know that was possible. And so one step at a time, what happened was transformational. I began to see food, just to begin to see it for what it was, and that it didn't hold any power unless I gave it power. And the enemy wanted me to think, oh no, you don't have control. You can't do this on your own. You will always be like this. And then the cycle would start over and over again. And it was like trying to get up, and something keeps knocking you back down. And what happened was God took me from begging to be someone else my whole life, because I was always never the script. I was too tall, always. I was too big. I was very overweight as a child, because food was my go-to. And anytime I felt hurt or shame or other things, it just crept in, and I would binge eat and hide. And it was awful. It was awful. But I knew I was not alone in that when I started to tell my story through the book. And so my beauty journey really became my story and also my message, that God was like, this isn't just for you. I'm transforming you, and I'm telling you back what you've always said you've wanted to be and more. And I'm going to use that. Every single compliment I've ever gotten, every single time people say, you're so confident, or you're beautiful, or you're this, or you're that. And I'm like, God, really? Really? Because it's not me, truly. I mean, yes, it's me in the flesh, but oh my gosh, like I see women and girls and I'm like, God's given me an ability to just see through them. And it's only because I've lived it and I've been there to be able to tell it. And so he used things that I loved, like fashion. Fashion was something that I could hide behind, used to be. And now it's something that I get to celebrate with others, to really look and feel your best. But also not do it where you're worshiping fashion or you're worshiping something that's never going to satisfy you. And so we've done these fun shows. We started United and Tru. I'll tell you more about that, of course. But that is really what happened, was God had to rewrite my self-worth.